Good morning. Welcome to Satsang. I will use an image, so it's limited, of course. Let's take the image of the river, the banks of the river. There are many ways to live life. When you are on the bank, you are so busy that you may not know that there is a river even. That's one way. Suddenly you discover a river, there is a river. And you are attracted, so you dip in the river. And then you go back to the bank. It's another way to live. The dip is a glimpse which has nothing to do with samsara, with the manifestation. There is a third way. You swim in the river. And sometimes you go to the bank. When you know yourself, the glimpse makes you know yourself, sure. When you swim in the river, you see more that the banks are just a movie, a dream. The fourth way is there was never a river and never banks. So, so what? So, it's already a big blessing to go to the second way to live, to know there is a river and to be attracted and to just jump. Big blessing. The seeking makes that. The seeking allows you to leave the mind alone for a split second. When you are in the river, and sometimes you go to the banks, or very often you go to the bank, but your home is the river, it's when you saw that you go to, with your mind, you are in the movie, in the dream. But it doesn't shake the fact that you always are what you are. It may be veiled, but the veiling is in the movie. No, that's another thing. No river, no banks. That knowledge I have, that is the real thing. I may not be there. That will be rare. Yet, I have the knowledge. That's true, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Now, nothing. Self-knowledge, self-knowledge, no doubt about it. No. Maybe there is absolutely no difference, you know, but still, I mention. This will happen surely when you die. And some people say it happens before. Anyway, we are all blessed, isn't it? So, let's take our luck. So, if you want to say something, welcome. So there are some consequences according to where one places oneself. One will speak of duality, or one will speak of non-duality. I think that you can only, it's a fact for you of non-duality when you swim in the river and go to the banks, because you see that the banks are made out of, it's a way to say, it comes from, you know, the river yourself. And so it's of no use to try to see this world as one. Just be yourself first, and then all the rest comes automatically. There was a very funny sadhu. He was always telling, automatically you get enlightened. But I laughed about the word, but finally it's not a bad word. Automatically you get advantaged, automatically. And his name was, in French, it's a pity I cannot translate in English, but those who know French, c'est chouette, Swami c'est chouette. It's amazing. It means, but it's no funny. Huh? That's cool. That was Swami, that's cool. Yes, please. There is a mic.
How do you, yeah? Yeah. How do you move from the second to the third to the fourth? Like,
Well, we don't need to pass through any stage. it, because in fact it's to find out, oh, I am not to go to find out, it's already here. It's always here, what I am. But not as a person. Not as a person. It was an image, you know. So there are flaws, limits. So just know yourself. And for that, understand. And that understanding will make you do it. Understand that it's not through the mind. It's when you let yourself be freed from a split second from the tyranny of the mind. Where you are left, that's what is. And then the mind comes back and all, but now you know it's the mind. So what is always available. It's always there when you don't look or listen to the mind. Any question? Any bloody doubt? Yeah, yeah. The mic, please.
I don't, I, I don't know exactly how to, but when you say, I feel like I need to jump in the river to say, because this example, for example, of the river, it always speaks to me because I feel every time I speak to you,
Yeah.
there is an inner dip in the river. Like I know that it will be a wrong language to use now in like inner or depth. But
Yeah, let's forget that
yes,
image.
yeah.
Okay, you speak.
Yeah, I just feel that I always hear your voice. Are you still searching yourself? Do you still, is something is missing? And when you say a doubt, I feel I can only describe experiences now to you, but I feel I know myself, and yet I still sometimes have this yet in me. That's what
This
I
is,
say to you.
I'm sorry to come back. Images are not good. I'm so sorry to have troubled you with that, but
not
okay.
at all.
It's when, you see, it's when you jump in the river, you know yourself. No doubt about that now. Everybody who got a glimpse, they know themselves. Now, since they go back to the mind, it means the mind has not been seen totally as being unsubstantial, I would say. It appears. You have experiences in it. But the duality is still created. I am myself, and when I'm not deep in the absolute, let's say, when I am in the duality, it creates a separation. Yeah. And probably that's what happens, you see. Now, are you ever, even when you have the experience of being troubled, identified, are you in reality, now yes, ask, in reality, have you ever lost yourself? You see? That fact has to dawn on you.
It leads me, Ganga. It's a split second. It's always short in time, and it leads me to this question that I want to ask you. For example, when you give yourself this time, is it always obvious when it give yourself this time? Sometimes it's not always obvious to me when I say myself, now it's...
The obviousness, I say all the time. Obviousness is in time. It cannot be long. It's obvious. When I don't catch my mind, suddenly it's obvious. To the mind. It has nothing to do with what is. But that's what I say. It has nothing to do with what is, but then that one doesn't see the world as something else. You see? Now, that's why I think, again and again, give yourself. I have no idea, I have no clue how this happens, but it happens. So, I think the love for it, the attraction to dedicate a moment alone with yourself, that will do. That will do. How can you work on it? I have no clue. You can't. And I said in the beginning, what a blessing. It's already such a blessing. Because you know, in the essential moments of your life, you will go there. Automatically you will go there. When I say there, here, you will go here. Don't go into your doubt. It will not solve it. It's solved when you don't go into your doubt. one has to, that's what I said, you have not to realize who you are. You have to realize what's the mind. Because you see, the mind is so clever. It's compared with a monkey, and I understand why. It's so quick. It steals so quickly. That states are formed, are experienced, and I mean in this kind of search. And they are taken for real because they look much more real than the experience before with objects, let's say. But there are states, otherwise there would not be a question arising about how it went. Master, he was laughing, you know, not mocking. He was laughing. He was, when people were coming, oh, I had a glimpse, I lost it. I lost it. It's because the mind is not, some experiences, some states are not seen as mind yet. So in that way, one has to be uncompromising. Even if it looks freedom, finally I'm free. But if you see it, whatever, if you see it, even already when you name it, it's mind. So, uncompromising. Then what's left? It's left what cannot be touched by the mind. I lost many enlightenments, I tell you. In the beginning, you are so dramatically depressed. After you just, once more, okay. Very nice, I saw it. It's a good title of a book. I lost all my enlightenments. Ay, ay. Generally, enlightenment, it's considered as a, even if intellectually one knows it's not an accomplishment, an achievement, an experience, but they are achievements. Generally, what we call enlightenment, they are accomplishments. And that's for the mind, it's quite unbearable to see that. Still an accomplishment. No, I know it's not an accomplishment. Well, if you are still busy with this kind of thing, it is an accomplishment. And it doesn't matter. What a luck, what a blessing to see it. Because then you are left alone. When you are left alone, what can you lose? Nothing. That's peace. That's what is mentioned by peace. You see, for example, we had, I wish, a moment of peace. But then you see, this peace is possible because I am myself. It's not that myself is peace. Myself is peace also, but don't worry, it will be something else after some time. So you have to be very vigilant not to confuse what you experience for it, because you are yourself. Of course, you may have direct experience of peace, as I said, or whatever, bliss or love. But it's because I am myself. So that's possible. Am I clear? I hope so. Because then, you see, the search goes. You are freed from your search and the seeker. So. Free from the search, seeker and finder.
Other day I have a thought, and it came now. When you said you received a phone saying that your master was passing away, and you tell the story that you sit in your bed and you felt that urge.
Thank you. You have a good memory.
You felt that urge, and it was that like a key to realize
For me.
that. Can we say, or can you say that's independent from your master, or not?
For me, yes. Because he created the urgency. I projected that on him, sure.
Yeah.
Of course. That's why I'm eternally grateful to him in the movie. In the movie.
Okay. Then that urgency is in the movie too.
Of course. And the enlightenment also. Because I can say, in 97, such a time, such an hour, it's an event. And my luck, my blessing, was that I could hear one day, not to take an event for it, even that one. And I didn't take it. It's exactly the same what I say now. Don't take your moment of peace for it. Don't take your moment of, I finally know myself for it. Just keep more quiet. More quiet. Don't go anywhere. A moment. Just a moment is enough. Because then the mind knows, oh, I've been discovered. I go somewhere else. It must be clear, isn't it? It is clear. Because I tell you, before that I was enlightened. For years. I was 10 years enlightened. My luck was also that I was not proud enough to teach. So I was anonymous in a way. But I was enlightened because I knew how to keep quiet. I knew how to keep quiet. And it was not that I didn't know. So that urgency created the questioning what I was living, questioning my attainment, which of course at that time I knew attainment, etc. The mind is so clever. Now, that's a story, isn't it? That's a story. So, and a story will be different for everybody. Everybody is unique. So it can inspire us at sometimes, but it should not create images or more beliefs. If I was depending on my discovery then, it's not the same what I speak now, even if it looks like I speak the same. But it's no more a discovery, it's what I am. So there is no event of enlightenment. Maybe not very clear. If I was depending on that event then, today, I would have hardly to go to my memory, isn't it? Then it's fake. Then it's a lie again, or an imagination. So, what is always available. In that way, it is said it's always there, but not as a concept. And it allows to see what covers it, so-called covers it, you see. It covers it by the experience of peace, joy, Satchitananda, whatever. It covers it by the shit. It's like that. But it's seen. It's seen in a natural way. The drama I have seen often is that the finder, the one who finally finds, with time, he has to keep his story to convince him that, yeah, he really found. And then that memory makes a state of it, out of it. It's a state which is made out of it. And then it becomes a bit like it cannot depend on anything. Because first of all, it was an hallucination to totally believe in the mind by birth. And so on. I will not speak all the journey, but one thing you can see from all the stories, let's say, of this kind, is that it's just now. It's always just now, you see? So it can be just now here. It's just now when you are able, or when you want, or when it happens, that you don't catch anything. Even the cherished concepts, the beliefs, the whatever, just now. So it's not a question of maturity too. Paradoxally, maybe you need time to hear this. So there is a kind of maturity in the search, but let's say it's not just now allows what is not depending on anything to be obvious. And it can create a state of joy, bliss and all. But you don't touch, it's perfect, it's there, it will go, don't worry. But it's just an effect of it. Never confuse, that's all, you know. Everybody is that. Only one wants to be enlightened. Everybody is that. So let go of, I want to be enlightened, because you suffer, so you want to be enlightened. Let go of that. That's very hard because one loves that. But you know, you will be so happy not to depend on a state.
Trick to keep quiet. It's a kind of trick. Somehow.
I don't know. I don't know, because then there is nobody there. I don't know. Don't worry about that, because then you make a trouble with that. Don't worry about that. Just don't catch your thoughts. And if it is difficult not to catch a thought, replace the thought you have, which leads you in so many directions, by the thought, who am I? Because at least that one, this unique, really unique subjective question, brings you back to the source of I. And why is it important? Because you have to see, or you have to understand that it's because I rises with its full power that the world rises. And in the world, I am a seeker, etc. So it's a very powerful, unique question. Who am I before telling I'm a seeker, I'm a man, I'm Portuguese, I'm this, I'm that? It question before you put a quality to it. And when I vanishes, don't go vanishing because a quality, you hook at a quality, but it vanishes where it has to vanish. That's what you are.
What I say is that for me, and I think there's different degrees of awareness, and we can, once it happened, it was in Satsang, before the thought arise, I could not follow. But it was, the thought it was arising, or I don't know if, but it was real like the mustache.
You mean so outside, so objective.
It was not really outside yet, but I could
Yeah, okay, see
don't go it. But what it happened in general is that the thought is already there. I'm not that kind.
Yeah, but who sees the thought then? Then it's okay, but who sees the thought? Because the thought is there, then you are fascinated again by the thought, but you could be fascinated by who sees the thought.
No, yes, I'm fascinated also for who sees the thought.
then
No, it's not. I'm just telling you where I am.
Yeah,
where I am.
Yeah, okay, but you know that if you are fascinated by who sees the thought, what remains?
Or maybe I'm lying. I don't know. Yeah, and it's not that. But I don't think so. I think I'm more or less on that.
You see, if you are into that, how you ask that, you are left where the thought disappears. You don't catch another thought. Oh, I forgot what I wanted to say. Yeah, you don't catch another thought. But I wanted to say something else, doesn't matter. Thoughts.
When I realize it, the thought is already caught.
No, you know it's a thought.
Okay.
So you let it pass, no? A thought is not a tool. Um, of course, I miss an exception with who am I? But as I see, it doesn't work always. So I don't know if it is because it's still a thought. Very strangely, magically, it worked for me. But I think it doesn't work because everyone repeats it or tells it when, as a mantra or something, a practice. Actually, this, if you ask it at the peak of you, it's enough. It's enough. I really want to know myself. Or something like that. At the peak of something, it doesn't work. It's no use. It's better to say it once, some months, in some months, than every day, where am I, where am I, where am I? It will not work. You say that eventually, because it can also work in totally different way.
I would say that that question just worked once in front of you, for me. But it worked. But
And what have you done with where we were left? What have you done with that?
I leave it.
It's still here. It's still here when you don't look at your mind. When you don't look at your mind, it will be obviously here, but it's always here. And don't argue. Take it, swallow that, digest it, and that's enough. It's not because I did that I lost myself. And I was not witness of that. I just do. How can I lose myself? Or if you lose it, you confuse it with a state. And in the life, you only experience states. You have only experiences, isn't it? And when you have the experience, I repeat because it's essential. In the life, you have only experiences. Because once upon a time you were a seeker and all that, or you still are, or you are a finder, you have a state of obviousness. I am myself now. I just am alone with myself, like it can happen in Satsang, like it can happen anywhere. A moment like that. But the problem is the obviousness of the self is still a state. So of course it goes. Of course it goes. It's an experience in the life. It's a blessed experience, I would say. Of course. But don't confuse yourself with a state, even this one. It's a knowledge. It's self-knowledge. Don't confuse yourself with that. Why I'm so furious? I'm not furious, but I wish. You say it. What is this? You have to see. You just hear. It's so easy. Yeah.
I just like to,
Sure, sure, sure.
to share. So the finder
Yeah.
is only possible because I am myself,
Yeah.
because
The finder is an expression
Yes.
of what you are.
yes,
It's, for example, again, oh, you want to speak more?
no, I wanted to say that's how far I can go.
You have not to go anywhere
Yeah.
now. If you know that the finder is the one who doesn't touch the mind, that's how he can say, it's obvious, I'm myself. But that's said in the life, you agree? That's known and experienced in the life. So it's a state. It's an expression of what you are. Yeah. Once you know that, all those ideas, this has to be prolonged, this only is the truth, and all that, vanish. Vanish. You are freed to believe that any experience of the somebody I know in the life is real. Two, the paradox is maintained, or I maintain the paradox. That experience of obviousness or of the finder is a blessing. It's a blessing to leave some space to experience it. Okay? Okay. That's it. So never confuse an experience for it. In the life, only experiences. That's why, you see, when maybe many would not agree with me, but I speak like that, when one day, there is this event of enlightenment, it happens only once in a life, and you don't take the event for it. It will only happen once in a life, and nobody knows what it is. Nobody knows. But the consequences are like this. Then in your life, you will have, like anybody else, experiences. But among your experiences, you will have this love, this attraction to keep quiet. Also. Okay? Is it clear? It is clear. Please. Yeah. It's coming.
This attraction is the Satsang. Yeah, that's all I want to say. It's like this is it.
This is the shape of it.
Thank you. Thank you.
We are all blessed, you know. And let's wish those who don't know that they may know it. Okay? Thank you very much.